Good morning from sunny Kailua. Today I wanted to show you some plants where you just need one cutting of it for life. If you can grow plants and you get one piece of this plant, you'll be able to grow it for life. I'll show you about 7 to 10 plants of my garden today of one piece of the plant will give you a lifetime of options because it'll continually reproduce and propagate itself naturally, and all you have to do is just keep it under control. So up next, I'm going to show you each of these plants and how to grow them. Very, very easy, simple. I'll even give you a cutting of mine if you live close to me, and you could try it yourself, and you'll agree that they are easy to care for plants. Okay, the first plant is this plant. Now this plant has a pretty controversial name, which a lot of people in the community don't agree with, but I still only know it by that name. It does have a family name, which I will include in the comment section of the video on the original Latin name for the plant. But the name of this plant is called Wandering Jew. I know it's controversial, but that's the name of the plant. It goes back thousands of years. There's no prejudice against anybody for these plants. But this is called Wandering Jew. All you need is this size of a piece to start a plant that'll grow into about that size. I have many more in the yard as well. So you take a piece of this plant. This is called the node part where it broke off. All you do is stick that piece in the soil, and boom, within a week it'll have roots and it'll be propagated and it'll start to grow a whole new plant. Another plant that's really easy to grow, and it's kind of it kind of grows on its own. So as you can see here, this is called the spider plant, by the way, spider plant. And it grows its babies off these long strips. At the underneath, you can see there's these huge roots. And you just stick these roots anywhere. So I'm gonna stick this one down here, and there's a little bit of soil at the bottom right there. And that'll just grow into a whole new plant, and it'll continually go across my living wall. This is my living wall. And here's another one here. It's super easy. And even if you wanted to take it off, all you need to do is just snap it off the bottom like that. Sorry, I fell on the ground. Let's go get that guy. And you take this guy. You see he has one root, which is plenty of roots for starting. And you just take it and you can put it like here in that little cubby. And over time, that'll grow into another whole new plant. So super easy, 2 plants that I gave you already to grow. This is one of my favorite plants to grow. This is called Alligator Plant. As you can see, the mouth looks like an alligator mouth right here. It's kind of got the teeth of an alligator. But this is one of the really cool plants. It's part of the cilantro family. It is a succulent, and these are the actual babies of the plant. So you can see there's hundreds of babies on this one, hundreds of babies on that one. And eventually what they'll do is they'll fall off the mother plant and they'll just replant themselves anywhere below the mother plant. Maybe all of them will survive, maybe 5 of them will survive, maybe 20 of them will survive. You really don't know until you grow the plant. And you can also remove the babies like this. You just take a whole handful. So I have some in my hand right there. And you can move them to like here. I'll put them in there. And within like a couple of weeks, a couple of those will grow up and we'll have a new plant. So another easy plant for you to grow in your garden. This plant is called the snake plant. It's also called Sansevieris. It's called mother-in-law's tongue. It's called bowstring plant. There's many different common names for this plant because it's a really old plant. It's one of the best air purifiers in the world, and I have several varieties of it all around the yard. I've sold it. I've propagated hundreds of them into different pots, and it's a really, really easy one to grow. I also have one over here that's growing, and I have another one that's growing there. And then I have several different rare varieties and a front garden bed as well. But this is a super easy plant to grow. You can water it every day. You can water it once a week. You can water it once a month. It's really hardy, super easy to grow, and I can give you a cutting even if you need. This plant, another easy plant to grow. I received a piece of this plant back in 2009, and it's continually grown since 2009 from one piece of plant. This is called Cuban Oregano. It's part of the Placanthrus family, or the spur flower family, and it's so easy to grow. It's like a no-brainer. You could leave a piece on the ground, totally forget about it, come back in a couple of days, and it'll have rooted itself into the ground and started growing a whole new plant. So with this plant, you kind of have to prune heavily a lot of the time because it gets out of control. As you can see, it grows that way and it goes up, and then there's this cousin of it over here, another kind of Placanthrus called the Vix plant, and this plant is kind of under control over here. There's that succulent I talked about in the last video, but there's a lot of it. I have a lot of that one plant just growing everywhere. The other plant that's really easy to grow is turmeric. This is turmeric. Has a gorgeous bloom. Look at that beautiful bloom. You can eat the bloom. You believe you can use the leaves in cooking, like to wrap chicken or beef and then cook it in like an emu or in a stone oven. But turmeric is super easy to grow. All you need is a piece of the turmeric rhizome, which is the piece that you usually eat and you cut up in cooking. Take a piece of that, put it in some moist soil, water that soil constantly every day until you see a green shoot pop up. Once you see a green shoot, take it out of the pot that you grew it in and then transplant it to someplace in your garden that's cooler and wetter, because it's part of the ginger family and it needs those wet conditions to thrive. So here I have a couple stalks growing. I count about maybe 4 or 5 of them, and then behind me in the back I grow a whole different kind of turmeric over here, and this one is a green turmeric, so I'm really excited to harvest this one this year. So instead of being orange inside, it'll be green inside. So another super easy plant to grow in your garden. This plant is called Burrows Tail. I've always wanted this, and I was visiting a friend one day, and I saw it in his garden that he was renting, and I asked him if I could take a piece. Now mind you, I took a piece that was probably that big, and within 1.5 years, in the correct conditions, as you can see, it's really grown substantially. It's one of my favorite plants to grow. It's easy. You need a very small piece to begin with, and you can grow it into several different pots. I have some here. I also have some growing over there on the living wall. I want to see how long it'll grow down before it breaks. So it's just a really cool thing to watch in the garden. Also over there from the last video, there's more of that pencil cactus. So another easy one is Burrows Tail. If you need a piece or like to buy a piece to support my new venture, please let me know and I'll try to get it to you. Thanks.